Hi, I'm Nick from PredictWind. I've come down here to see the guys from Motorboat, watch them do the Sands around New Zealand race. I could see in the videos that they use PredictWind a lot, so thought we'd come down here and have a chat with them and see what they did.
Okay, Nick. How are you, mate? You right?
You good?
How are you?
G'day, Nick. Good to see you, mate.
Good to see you too.
So, the latest one that we did was the Sands round New Zealand two-handed. It was in February 2019. Seems like a long time ago now.
Yeah, just over 2,000 miles, wasn't it? 2,200 miles of some of the toughest water around, really.
Cheeky day sail.
Yeah.
And how did you go?
We probably did better than expected. The good thing is we can look back on our track and there's really, there's no places where we felt we lost any time, or there's really no improvements we could have made on how we actually put the boat around the track, right?
Yeah, we're pretty happy with all the decisions we've made most of the time, and those decisions are made from all sorts of things. Our own knowledge, a huge part comes in from the weather and the routing information from PredictWind. That combined with how we're positioned against the fleet and just general, I guess, almost inshore tactics sometimes, and offshore, and all of it together. And I'd like to think most of the time we kind of get
just
it
really
right.
Positioning yourself on the right side of the fleet to make gains on certain shifts and things like that, so it's all about gaining leverage on, certain points, getting on the inside shifts, getting inside on the corners, right? Did a lot of that.
Yeah, just trying to predict where we're going to be in a day or two's time and trying to get that right.
Punch the sky, go on.
And the good thing with the routing is it actually it shows you where you're going to be for each weather change. It gives, once you got the polars right and you're set up, you kind of got a fair idea of where you're going to go through each transition, which I think is quite a key. And then you also got a fair idea of if it's a squall or a shift. We set up to know, right, if it shifts down past whatever degrees, we know that that's time to change, time to both on deck, change to that sail. It's not just a squall or some kind of temporary shift. You kind of know, you're planning ahead, so you're always one step ahead of the game. So you kind of got to plan for whatever comes your way.
As you can see, there's something lacking right now.
Wind, yep. And enthusiasm. Lacking a bit of that.
Yeah, you get, particularly with PredictWind, the models, and based on how you're going at the time, what weather conditions you've actually got, you can have a look at all those and kind of come to your decision of what you think is going to work for you at the time. So there's all those different options, and just
with the four models, you can really see which one is actually working for that current that weather model that you've got. So.
All right, so we've had a pretty good night. Came into the shore, got the lift off the land, managed to extend out our lead a little bit. So all we need to do is hold it together. That's all we've got to do.
Yeah, just got the latest set of grid files. We're going to check out. There was a hole that looked like it developed inshore between Turnagain and Kidnappers. So we'll see if that's still there. And we think going out here, waiting for that northeasterly is probably our best option right now. I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, it's just as well I agree with you.
I shouldn't say it's only as good as the information you put into it, but certainly the polars and knowing how your boat sails, the angles that it sails and the speeds that it sails sounds pretty, I guess, basic, but is so critical, particularly with that roll-on effect that, if the program's predicting that you're going to be, over here, but in reality you're actually only over here, the decisions the program then makes for you are a little bit skewed. So taking that into account and working on your polars and trying to get to reflect how you're sailing as best you can is critical, really. We're still it's refining all the time. Yeah.
That's Krakatoa just in front. There's Josh driving, and there's Gale Force behind us. All is good.
When I watched the race and I watched some of your videos that you guys did from off the boat, I could see that you were using PredictWind. Why did you use PredictWind?
I've used it for a long time myself. I used it all the way down from France to New Zealand cruising with the family, and I found it to be great. I spent a lot of time adjusting the polars on that trip and getting that set up. So I've found it to be really beneficial for my sailing over about the last 3 years. So, and the forecasts are accurate, and with the latest the ECMWF models, I think it's really stepped the game up.
Also so usable as well. I mean, we were using it on phones, on tablets and on computers, all within the same day.
And just tied straight into the Iridium Go. It's just it's so easy. It's foolproof, really, you know. And we knew that if all of the models, you know, all of the routing for each model, if they agreed with each other, then you knew it was, you know, almost a certainty that was the way to go. If they were pretty far apart, it meant the wind models disagreed slightly, then we'd have to really start to look at, you know, which options we thought were best. And there was a lot of info we put into that, you know, currents, sea states, geographical effects, you know, so it was quite a lot to think about there.
It was a full weather analysis, everybody happier.
Yeah. I mean, you can
the other one is in the morning
see,
over bacon.
Yeah.
Actually.
We did 7 and 7 was the time we all got together to have our breakfast.
All of us.
All of us, yeah. The whole crew.
Whole crew.
The whole crew got
Everyone.
together.
Yeah, and then the bacon's a very important part of weather processing information. Weather information processing.
You got to have energy to make the right decisions, right?
It's hopefully the last day of Leg 3. It's a little bit of a sad day, a little tear going down the cheek there because that's the last of the bacon.
Obviously, we used to predict wind observation. That's a really good tool to watch what it's doing ahead of you and seeing the shifts come as well. We used our eyes occasionally.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, that's.
We also often use the speeds of the other boats from the tracking just to get a fair idea of, because there can be quite a split in the fleet, so you've got a fair idea what the other boats are doing, from their speeds, what winds they've got, and then what models are actually correlating to what the conditions really are. Yeah, well, a few times we sent Damon up the rig, which actually was pretty handy, because when the wind shuts down, you've got a fair idea of what might be coming in 6 hours or 12 hours or whatever. But when it's shut down, you're just going for the thermal breezes. You're really trying to watch and see, if it's a land breeze or a sea breeze filling in. And the first boat to get to those breezes can make a, 5 mile gain pretty quickly. So going up the rig gives you a much better chance of seeing what's actually happening.
It was also the only place I could get some peace and quiet and not hear about him blabber on about the weather.
Yeah, we used the high resolution modelling when we had cell phone coverage, because it's pretty big, much bigger file than it's fun to download on the Iridium Go. What other uses did the Iridium Go give us? It gave us communications on the boat. So we had all our emails through the Iridium Go, all our skeds, and then the update files sent through from headquarters would send everyone's position, so you had all that. And also it had a text function, so we'd use the text a lot to text back home and get various reports and make sure the world's still turning basically while we're away. Yeah, but overall it was a month at sea, having fun, just us, the boat, and the weather, really.
Yeah, it was good.
And bacon.
And dolphins. But not dolphin bacon.
Yeah.
It'll do.
Thank God it's almost over.
We're very thirsty.
Yeah, ready for a rum.